Thank you very much for the invitation and the kind introduction. I have no slides to present, so I'll just talk for the next few minutes. So I think it's been really a long way since the year 2000, 2001 that we have come. When we started off with just few thousand patients on treatment to now touching 13 million patients on treatment. And I think it was really not just a reduction in prices that did the change, but also a galvanizing of the entire international community with various people who've really done it. We have set more ambitious targets for ourselves, the 90-90-90 target, which has been discussed at the meeting. We want to go from 13 million to perhaps 25 million, and eventually to possibly cover all 30-35 million people. And that includes both adults and children. So this is going to require not just the current antiretroviral drugs, it's going to require newer drugs which have come, which have better therapeutic efficacy, which perhaps have greater safety, a higher barrier to resistance, maybe more convenient to take. There's probably lots of new combinations, more dose optimization was what David has mentioned. And one of the key challenges in that is clearly to have more and more pediatric products and combinations. Clearly, the times are different today. One of the topics here is mentioned is patents. So India had a different patent law in the 90s when many generic companies could really do what they did. Clearly, things are a little different now that India has joined the World Trade Organization and is part of the international patent laws. So clearly, there seems to be a new way of getting drugs from the generic pharma companies to the patients who really need them. And I think there have been several mechanisms that everybody's putting into place. And I'm glad some of the earlier things that have happened, that there are ways by which you can actually get drugs out there with the cooperation of everyone that is present in the room and a lot of people who are actually facilitating and driving access towards these new medications. I think one of the key challenges that generic companies face is that they make a large number of drugs. The portfolio is extremely diverse. It's not just making one NRTI or one NNRTI or a PI or an integrase inhibitor. It's actually making all of these, making these in a number of combinations, in a number of different formulations, including adult and pediatric. So the planning that often goes into making this can be significantly challenging for people in the company. And I must alert always you all, there's a lot of planning that is required. Generic companies need to put up a lot of capacities because some of these drugs you'll probably need hundreds of thousands of tons over the next 10 or 15 years. Companies have to make the right investments into making these drugs and making these combinations. They need to have mechanisms in place to get regulatory approvals with various multiple agencies, not just the global agencies, but country-wise registrations as well. Although I know that there is quite a lot of fast-track approvals or review of dossiers that happens. But this is a huge onerous task. It's as big a task as any other international community has for getting access to these drugs. So I wanted to alert to you. I think there's a lot of learnings that we have had from the last 15 years of the HIV epidemic. And if we can use these learnings better for now translating into a new challenge that we have on hepatitis C, and the opportunities that are there to perhaps not just control the disease, but even possibly in the next 20, 25, or 30 years to eliminate this disease from the world, I think we've really got something going. And if that can be done from all the stakeholders here, I think this is going to present to us an opportunity that has never been presented before. And I'm glad that from the generic company's point of view, this also represents an opportunity to the generic pharma to participate in this entire process. And I'm going to stop here by thanking all of you all who are present here and thanking the organizers for the invitation. Thank you.